grab your Bokken, grab a stick, a broom handle, an axe handle, sledgehammer handle, anything you have to start with. Wherever you are now, start with what you have and follow me. One quick thing I want you to see before you get started, you're gonna hold the weight of the sword in your left hand all the way at the very end, and the last three fingers are gonna hold the weight of the sword. The last three fingers hold the weight, squeezing. The forefinger and the thumb are relaxed. Your other hand comes up to the hand guard, and if you don't have a hand guard, if you're using a stick or something, just make sure you have some distance between your hands. If your hands come together, it's going to pivot. It'll turn too much and expose your neck. So you want to make sure you have this distance so when you come down, you can bring it to a stop. Just like this. The other thing, the finger, the thumb are relaxed. The wrists can't be out. You'll lose your hand. They'll chop it off. So you're going to turn and squeeze like you're wringing out a wet cloth. Squeeze. You're going to build a lot of grip strength and power in your fists. It's a great cross-training weapon. Squeeze so that your wrists come together and you have a straight line. Start with the weight of the sword in your left hand. You're going to squeeze those last three fingers. You're going to be making arcing motions or slicing motions. You won't chop with your sword ever. Never chop. It's always a slice. You have to get into this idea of slicing or creating an arc. Slicing down. Your right hand is going to come up to the hand guard. If you don't have a hand guard, as I said before, just create some distance and turn the wrists into each other like you're wringing out some cloth so that you have a straight line. In this motion, start with your right foot forward, lift your left heel. You're going to bring the sword back to your spine. Comes all the way back, touching all the way here to the top of your hips. And you're going to, again, pull the weight of the sword with the left arm, making that arc. The right arm, the right hand is going to direct where the tip of the blade goes. You're going to do this motion first. This is just a forehead strike. Think of slicing down the middle. From your spine every time you're touching. Every time. Sometimes when you practice, you'll get lazy or you'll forget. You'll start chopping this way. This is wrong. Every time to the spine, striking. Start with 10, 9, 8, 7. Again, pulling. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now you're going to rest. You're going to turn the blade up, and you're going to take your left hand, making the C, and you're going to pull the back of the blade. You'll know the top of the blade because it's rounded. The back of the blade along the hand. When you get here, you're going to tip it up. You're going to put it in next to your hip. Not down, but up. You'll always have this up in your elbow back. After 10, as a warm-up, you'll do it again. This time, with your feet together, you'll step with the right. The left heel comes up. You're going to pull away from you, now across to your spine. The left hand comes up, the last three fingers pulling so that you're wringing the sword out. Your wrists are straight. And again, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Start to breathe out. 5, 3. Last one. And again, pull across the back of the hand, putting it into the scabbard, step in and back. This is your beginning warm-up. It's very important that you do this again and again and again. From here, Start with the bow. Don't look at the ground. Straight forward. The fingers are facing the ceiling. They continue to face the ceiling as you pull the sword. If your wrist turns, you'll pull it and you'll be facing the blade. The wrong side will be facing your opponent. So you have to make sure the blade side starts up. You're holding the elbow back, the palm is up, and it comes to the side, and you pull, keeping the wrist turned up so that the blade comes out and is facing your opponent. From here, you're going to pull, slight turn. We'll talk about why later. And you're pulling out, far away from you. If you have a longer sword and you're not as tall, take a bigger step. Bigger step gives you more reach. Your shoulders are turned. From here, you're coming across, slicing, taking their head off. To the spine, pulling down, wrists in line, last 3 fingers of each hand squeezing in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, hitting the spine every time. 1, and again, away. Again and again, sets of 10, starting from this position with the palm up. This is where you must start. You have to master this basic move before you go on to another move. It's very difficult to stick with one move. If you do, the payoff is very big. It's a big reward. You become good fast. From here, fingers up, slight bow, bend the knees, turn your sword about 15 degrees. It unlocks from the scabbard, coming across to the spine, pull in, keep this tight, and breathe with every strike. And bow. And finally, pulling, you're gonna slice 1, you're gonna pivot, 2, turn, 3, pivot, 4, turn, 5, pivot, turn, pivot, turn, pivot, turn, pivot, turn, pivot. And return.